When it comes to Wendy Williams and this whole conversation of her conservatorship and everything that she has experienced, there is so much I feel like that is missing, but it is a true conversation about all of us will experience disability at any given point in our lives. And it's something that we need to consider in this conversation. Let's talk about it.
Y'all already know what time it is. I got the black V-neck on.
What's going on, you all? You all saw the interview on The Breakfast Club with Wendy Williams and how she talked about everything that she has been experiencing with the conservatorship. And it is truly a lot going on. For those who do not know, she has been in a conservatorship, I think, for probably a little while now, probably like a year or so or whatever. And ultimately, it started from Wells Fargo. Remember that there was a lot of conversation about Wells Fargo and Wendy Williams and how she did not have access to her money, and there was a lot going on. For the folks who saw the documentary, that was a little bit eye-opening. I'm not even gonna hold you, and I feel like some folks don't want to talk about that in this conversation, and I get it, but we're gonna be completely honest about this because I find this story, I find it a lot because one, a lot of us care about Wendy Williams, and a lot of us pretend to care about Wendy Williams. I saw conversations all over the board where people were feeling sorry for Wendy Williams, like feeling sorry for her experience, and it teared them up to hear how she was being treated. And yeah, it is a very sad situation, especially for those who remember what happened with Britney Spears for the longest with her conservatorship and how her father was responsible for all of her money and how he was doing her. And as long as she was in the conservatorship, he was able to, be in control of her finances, and how she is completely distant with her father now. She does not really talk to her family like that anymore. So when it comes to Wendy Williams, there is not a family member that is over her conservatorship. It's somebody who's been appointed by a judge. And for some folks who have seen the documentary about conservatorships and how some of these judges and folks take advantage of people in situations and put conservatorships on folks who don't necessarily need it, but they have money and they are able to exploit that stuff. Like they're able to exploit the situation. But I think when it comes to Wendy Williams, this one is like way complicated. And I think with Wendy Williams being a celebrity, there's been it's been very jolting. On the other hand, you have folks who I feel like just want to see Wendy Williams back in her prime and on the Wendy Williams purple chair. Like that's what people want. And I feel like it's a mixture of that, keeping folks from being honest about these things. The stuff that came out with the documentary and her son spending a lot of money, $100,000 on Uber Eats, $100-something thousand on rent, almost $200,000 on a birthday party. Kevin Jr. was spending Wendy's money down. And Wendy has been taken advantage of by Kevin Sr., her former ex-husband, who was responsible for a lot of her stuff, was kind of managing her and was spending her money to live his life and to support his situation he had going on with another woman. And I think that Wendy has been in somewhat of a decline for a while, and it is now coming to the surface. I think it's been going on longer. And I remember watching the Wendy Williams show, and there was some moments that I was concerned. Before the Statue Liberty situation, the reasons why I paid attention to it a lot, because one, I have a lot of respect for Wendy Williams and what she does. If it was not for Wendy Williams, I would not be able to do the things that I'm doing. So she really is that person that made this what it is for a lot of us. And I appreciate her. And also, on the other hand, as a person who has dementia in my family, seeing her forget certain things, it was a little shaky for me, because there's been moments where I will have memory fog and not remember stuff and, all of the things. And I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, like how would you be able to tell? Like how would you be able to tell that you are on the cognitive decline? And to be honest, even if a lot of us do not experience the cognitive decline mentally, a lot of us eventually will become disabled. All of us will become disabled if we live long enough. That's just what it is. With that being said, we need to be doing more things. One, we need to really be paying attention to folks who have been speaking on disability rights for the longest, because they have been speaking on how people with disabilities and are disabled are taken advantage of by this very system. Not all the times with conservatorships, but by family members and the system as a whole. And if we do not have people with disabilities included in the conversation for liberation, we are failing all of us. And it doesn't even have to be where we should be doing this just in case it happens to us. We should be doing this because we care about these people in general. We should be doing this because we care about everybody. And these folks experience some of the worst things. And we're seeing Wendy Williams experience that, and it's jarring for some people because they don't want to see somebody who they care about become disabled. Like, it is a lot. And it's also a reminder of how we look at people with disabilities. We do not want to see them. We do not want to see them. We don't want to be reminded of them. And that is unfortunately the harsh reality that has been happening for the longest. And when it comes to Wendy and the financial side of it, yes, Wells Fargo and banks, institutions, financial institutions do not care about any of us. Let's get that understood. They do not care. If it's not them rearranging when withdrawals come out of our checking accounts, when withdrawals come out faster than the deposits, how they are doing everything in their power to make sure they hit us with these fees while using our money to continue to build revenue for themselves. Like, these institutions do not care. These institutions are making a lot of money on poor folks. As much as they claim to love folks with good credit and all the other stuff, they make billions of dollars each and every year just off of NSF fees. It's been happening for the longest. So Wells Fargo, looking at Wendy Williams and her son and how he was spending her money, it raised a red flag. And as much as some folks don't want to say it, Kevin Jr. is somewhat responsible for this. And I'm not saying all the blame needs to be put towards him, but I am saying that him and his daddy, his dad way more, taking advantage, all of that, and him growing up in this environment of just always having money. His mother is a very wealthy celebrity. He was used to certain things. There was a part of the documentary that stood out to me where he said, not without her consent.
I think the amount of money that they questioned Kevin about for spending was like $100,000. To put it in perspective, Kevin's birthday party that year that his mom threw was $120,000. Kevin's rent was $80,000. Kevin's Uber Eats probably exceeded $100,000 that his mom approves.
Have you ever taken money from your mother's account?
Not without her consent.
So if he's using and accessing her checking account and spending money on these things like this, how can we tell if Wendy Williams is able to consent? And the way he was slipping up on that, yeah, it was cause for alarm. And I feel like Wells Fargo was flagged immediately, because if he spends all of her millions of dollars in her account and it goes to zero, there could be a claim, and it can be an argument in court, that Wells Fargo should have been flagged that. They should have been flagged that. And some folks might agree, a jury might agree that, yes, y'all should have flagged that. There's no way that y'all should have let that go. Y'all need to get that money back. It could be. And I think that's why in the conversation on the Breakfast Club, we didn't hear them talk about that a lot. We didn't hear a conversation about that. They didn't even really want to acknowledge it because they probably didn't want to admit some guilt. Not said that they are guilty, but it would help the case if they are suing Wells Fargo to return some of these funds that were lost. Because Wells Fargo will lock your stuff up. Wells Fargo, Bank of America, all of these institutions, girl, they will lock your card up in a minute. How many times we've been out somewhere, you've been out somewhere, and your card get locked up because you went somewhere that you don't normally go. These banks do not want to have to pay out no coin. They do not. I remember somebody accessed my business credit card and charged $400 worth of Uber rides. And I didn't even know it wasn't even Uber, it was Lyft. And I didn't even know. One, I don't use their business credit card like that. And they did my business credit card and they did my business checking account. And I was like, what? I don't even use Lyft. Like, I got on the phone and they had to do an investigation. I said, I don't even have Lyft on my phone. I don't even use Lyft. And I damn sure ain't gonna be paying Lyft no $80 for no ride. Like, Lyft's supposed to be the cheapest. I asked my friends to get a Lyft. If anything, I ain't expecting to pay no more than $20, $25. I ain't spending no $56 on no Lyft. I just go ahead and get in the Uber. Or I'll just go pick them up, or I'll just drive. I'm not doing all that. So I never use Lyft like that. So to see that, and Wells Fargo had to launch an investigation to find out if I was responsible and who was responsible. So these banks are not going to lose any money like that. And you're talking about millions of dollars. So they're not going to allow that to make them lose any coin. Now, there could be a situation where the conservatorship is benefiting said person or whatever. I would not, the system, all of that. The question I'm asking, if Wendy Williams is incapacitated in all of these things and the conservatorship is the last thing to protect Wendy Williams and her finances, who and what is in charge to protect Wendy Williams from the conservatorship harming her? What oversight is being done to make sure that this conservatorship is not being done in bad faith? That's the question that I have. Now, I'm gonna get into some other things. The conversation about Wendy Williams not being incapacitated and she sounded fine. Y'all gonna have to be completely honest. That was not the Wendy Williams that I know on The Breakfast Club. I know TMZ ran a story and said she sounded good. No, ma'am. Wendy Williams is a entertainer. She knows how to talk. She is good at that. And for what folks say, when people have dementia, sometimes they have good moments and sometimes they have bad moments. It's not a consistent thing. It goes and it comes. So just because we're hearing this does not mean that Wendy is not, is 100%. Just because we're hearing Wendy and folks saying she sounds good doesn't mean that she's 100%. Especially if we're hearing things where, we can't play that, or we can't. Even listening to the interview when she was speaking to Charlamagne, she kept repeating herself. She did not sound as coherent. And we saw her on TV. We knew something was going on. There was some stuff going on. So, yeah, I don't think that Wendy is as 100% as everybody claims, or even she claims to be. That does not mean that she should be in a situation where somebody is taking her rights away. That does not mean that. That does not mean that. The question I'm asking is, who is now responsible? Because her son was doing some shady stuff. And I'm not blaming, because he's very young. He doesn't know any better. But how do we make sure? How do we know that this new person that is her niece, I'm guessing, is somebody that is going to do her right? Like, what things can we set to make sure stuff is right? And that needs to be considered, like, hey, this amount of money needs to be evaluation. It needs to be a lot of stuff. It needs to be a lot happening, to be honest. And the last thing I'm going to say, this GoFundMe situation, asking us working class folks to speak on this and raise noise. One, the nerve of y'all asking us for money. I am so sorry. I don't even care if y'all got it. Charlamagne, homeboy from TMZ, what's his name? I can't even think of his name. Who runs TMZ, the lawyer, Harvey. You need to get into your debit cards and your credit cards, and you need to be giving Wendy Williams some money, because y'all need to stop expecting us to be taking care of y'all. Wendy Williams asking for $30,000 for legal fees and all the other stuff, money because she can't access her money. It needs to be some celebrities that's cool with her, that loan her that money, or that needs to be a lawyer that is doing pro bono work. Rich folks, y'all don't know how to organize, and it's pitiful, to be honest. Y'all don't have anything. Y'all have all the resources and all the things, and then again, y'all asking us working class folks to come and save y'all. I'm confused. I'm confused because I've seen better resources and stuff being allocated in small mutual aid requests on social media. I'm not understanding all these folks that make millions and millions of dollars who are around Wendy Williams, who celebrity friends. I know her. This is Wendy. Why y'all not writing her a check for $50,000 or covering her stuff since y'all care about her so much? Y'all ain't doing nothing but making money off of telling her story. If y'all really care, you would tell the story, and you will also pay for the things that she needed to be paid for so she can get the services that she need. Like the GoFundMe request, like, girl, what? When folks need to be getting their rent paid, like folks are asking for small things like $1,200 to not be evicted, and people will see these crowdfunds and GoFundMes and then drag poor folks for not being able to come up with $400 because of whatever. And then you got whole celebrities asking for $100,000 for legal. I'm like, girl, what is going on? Y'all need to be organized with y'all whole class system. I'm confused. If Harvey Lemon, whatever his name is, making all that money exploiting folks on TMZ, he needs to be out here paying for that. He needs to, Charlamagne needs to be out here paying for that. Why are you putting her on speakerphone? No, you need to be putting her, you take her off speakerphone, put your AirPods in, and call your bank and wire her some money. Because why y'all asking our poor asses for money? We ain't got it. We ain't got it. I don't know what's going on. Y'all gonna have to get it together. Because it ain't making no sense to me. It's too many rich folks around Wendy Williams for y'all not to be covering this small amount of money for legal fees or whatever she needs. Y'all need to get it together. It ain't making no sense to me. Don't ask us for it. Like, y'all need to get on the horn and fundraise. Y'all do it for everything else. I just got questions because it ain't making sense to me. So yeah, that's my thoughts, and it's just no shade. I just don't believe folks like Wendy Williams, who have very wealthy friends in the industry and people that, I just don't believe in them asking working class folks. They should not even have to share anything like that. They should be, rich folks need to be taking they hand, empty your purse. Your purse, empty your purse. Y'all need to be emptying y'all purses. I don't know why y'all asking us for some money, because our purse is empty. Matter of fact, a lot of our purses and wallets and debit cards and credit cards and even Affirm and Afterpay is on do not disturb. They blowing our phones up. They is texting us, asking us for payment. A lot of us locking our cards up. It's hard out here. So celebrities, y'all need to be doing a better job of organizing within yourselves and taking care of this. That's all I got when it comes to this Wendy Williams conversation. I will say and iterate again and again that we need to be doing a better job of centering people with disabilities in conversations about liberation, because without them, none of this is worth it or even possible. That's all I got. Let me know in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.